Hi there, my name's Luke, welcome back to PhotoBite, and today we are checking out the Carl Zeiss Milvus 85mm f1.4. Let's get into it. So the Milvus line really is something quite special from Carl Zeiss because they don't have autofocus, they're all just manual focus. But above that as well is there's a big focus throw, so you've got plenty of movement around controlling where the focus is, and it's a big thing as well because when you're doing manual focus, the last thing you want is going from up close to infinity in about an inch of movement. You want a nice big throw, and that's what you get with these lenses. Also with that, the quality of the pictures is just next level. You haven't got a movement in there controlling the autofocus, you do it yourself, which also means there's less glass elements in here, which means you can get some really pin sharp pictures. And with the f1.4, that background blur is going to be lovely and smooth. And what we also notice with this, you get a bit of a swirl as well if you actually look into the background of the blur. With the Nikon, you can actually declick the aperture as well, like you can with most of the Milvus lines, so it's great if you're a filmmaker. You can actually declick, which means you can change the aperture without affecting the image as you transition from an outside to an inside. You won't get a horrible click and then just slowly seeing it correcting itself. So you do have that available. The weight of it, you know, it's not light, but it's also not the heaviest lens we've played with either. We've played with heavier lenses, so you don't have to worry about this weighing you down, although this isn't a lens you would just take out and go for a little shoot. This is something you would use in the studio or specifically for a job. If you're shooting portraits and you're on a time, I wouldn't recommend this lens purely for the fact that getting the autofocus is quite tricky, especially in a digital camera, because all you have to rely on is a small little dot in the middle telling you if you're in focus or not. And using just the viewfinder inside, if you think you're in focus, you check back, you have a look at playback, it's probably just like a couple inches out. So do bear that in mind when you are looking at lenses like these. There are other options available through Carl Zeiss that do have an autofocus, but there's something special about using a Milvus lens. In my experience, I've also tested out the 35mm, you've probably seen the review for that, and I was very impressed with it. And then I wanted to try out the 85, so Carl Zeiss sent it over to us, so I've had a bit more of a play with it. And as much as I like the lens, in practical terms, like myself and many others, I don't see this being used very much. You probably would use it if you were out and about and you're specifically going to use it for up close shots. In filmmaking, it's great for getting nice punchy close-ups whilst remaining at a distance. And with the Milvus line, if you look across, they all make the lenses with the same coatings. So if you go from a 35mm to an 85mm, nothing's going to change in the colors, so when it comes to grading, it's going to be equal all the way out, which is fantastic for filmmakers. It really is. So on that note, we've been checking out the 85mm. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. And as always, my name's Luke, this is PhotoBite, and we'll see you next time.